That's cool.
All right. Hey, everyone. Scott Jansen here. Welcome to another student interview. It's my absolute pleasure to have one of our 100K coaching shortcut students interviews here today. So it's awesome. We've got Theo Cummings online with us today. And Theo's got a really cool backstory. We're going to spend our time over, let's say, 30 minutes to 45 minutes taking a deep dive into what Theo's doing in his business, where he started. I just had a chat with Theo before, who's gone from roughly about $2,000 a month over, since starting his therapy business to now reaching in 6 weeks a little or just under $15,000, $16,000, which is really cool. So I definitely want to pick Theo's mind about how he's done this. But dude, let's jump straight in. So firstly, thanks for jumping on, man. A lot of people have been asking me to get you on an interview. So it's an awesome pleasure to have you here.
My pleasure, Scott. I thank you so much for having me as well, man. Props to all the people's lives you're changing with this incredible program that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, let's start from the start. So what's your background, Theo? Like, you're a therapist, a coach. Just sort of take me back to when you first decided to get qualified and things like that.
Sure, Scott. So I was in music production for quite a long time. I had studied psychology for about 10 years. My mom was a psychologist. I was raised in that household. I didn't really just have the passion for psychology and implementing it in a way that would help other people to transform their lives. But I actually fell into a kind of depression, anxiety situation from starting to make a lot of money in music production and really kind of having this rock bottom moment in my life where I didn't feel as fulfilled as I thought I was going to. And then most people, they would keep going and pushing and pushing and forcing things, right? But what happened was I found this method that I now implemented my program in a very unique way. It's called RTT, and I know many of RTT practitioners are out there watching this video, and I hope this really inspires you guys to really just wake the hell up and start to implement a strategy that works. But anyways, getting back to my story, I decided to become a therapist is because I healed quickly from this method. And, I just started to realize, wow, I had this aha moment. It was like, wow, if I had this amazing transformation in my life, I feel so called to also incorporate music into my program, but also really have this be the focal point because I just feel so passionate about changing people and helping them to live the best lives in terms of results in their life so that they can build more freedom to spend time enjoying life and also enjoy the grind, right? Right now, I'm living my dream life, really. Surprisingly fast. So once I started to do the inner work on myself and transform that aspect of who I was at the core, the only thing I was missing was a strategy to get that lifestyle that I really craved from. And I knew it was possible doing therapy and coaching, but I didn't know how. And so to answer your question, the motivation to be a therapist was just because of my own struggle and my own really transformation and willingness to want to help people in that way, because I know that if I can do it for myself, then nobody has an excuse from where I came from with addiction and all that stuff to where I'm able to get to for people. And it's that passion this is why I love Scott's program so much, is because he teaches you the mindset as well. Obviously, I'm a mindset coach as well. I'm a therapist as well. So I understand the power of mindset. But Scott understands mindset too, guys. Like, he doesn't market himself as a mindset coach on purpose because he doesn't want to be like esoteric, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but
no,
you're strictly business, right? You're teaching people how to get a deposit money into their bank account. You can't deposit mindset into your bank account. It's a tool, but you need like a plan that works. And so this was the ingredient that I was missing, because I was getting people crazy transformations, but I wasn't making money. I still had to do another job. And that was not allowing me to really serve powerfully from a place of authenticity. Like, this is who I am at my core. This is what I do 100%. And so, now looking back, it hasn't even been like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I was making good money as a music person, but I wasn't, it's really about being fulfilled with what you do. And if you're a therapist or coach out there who loves what you do, but you feel like you're just reaching for that next client and trying to just tread water, like you need to get a program that works. And it's not, oh my God, so many people think they can just jump the line and like go straight into investing thousands of dollars into all of these copywriting and Facebook advertisement teaching courses where they're going to teach you how to build funnels and everything. Like it's so much more risky than actually like learning the ins and outs of your business. And so that's why I love this program.
Yeah. And it's something like that. And that's 100% why we don't teach it, because it's not only such a risk, but that's what you do to scale. It's not what you do right at the start. It's like we say to all of you guys, if you can't get organic clients and at least reach 6 figures a year, like 10 grand a month, funnels aren't going to do that. That's not the piece that's missing in your business strategy. It's all the other things that need to be covered first. And then you use that stuff to scale. And, we have students right now, unlike yourself, doing a couple of $100,000 a year, don't even have a website, but they've mastered that first little thing.
Yes.
So let's go back. So you got qualified, you got your certifications. What happened next? So you were still working a full-time job when this happened, or what was happening at that point?
Yes, I was working as a music producer. I was also DJing a little bit. And I was studying music therapy as well on the side. I was studying psychology as well, because I was doing it with the intent to just pay the bills, really. Like that I was good at it, and I was always raised in music as well. So it's just what I was naturally good at. And, so I really wanted to take the therapy thing full time. And I know that somewhere down the line from today onwards, maybe years later, I'm going to create an event that's, incorporates more things with music. But right now I'm just getting such incredible results with the therapy aspect of my coaching, that I want to, like the program, the 100K program helps you to see, is that you need to be different from people. Like there's so many people getting certified, therapists, coaches, all these different methods, all these different gurus, right? Claiming that they have the best way to get healed, to heal people. It's like Scott says all the time, and it's so true. Like, people don't care how you get the result. They want to know, can you get the result? So you need to build your business around social proof, right? You need to build your value around other people endorsing you and having that be authentic. And also on the flip side of that, to prove that you're actually an expert of what you do. And this is consistent action, okay? So it's not enough to just get a couple of great results and then just like rely and rest on your laurels, so to speak. You have to also live the part. You have to be consistent with the action taking, because ultimately that's what's going to put the dollars in your bank account. It's those actions that don't have like an immediate fruit. It's like you have to just have faith that your actions, if you follow the strategy in the program, you will get those calls and you will close those calls. The challenge is really finding a niche that works for you. Yeah. And finding them, finding that message that really hits people hard.
So when you were certified, you're jumping into business and stuff now, like what's the niche you're working with now and what made you choose that? And the reason I asked that is because that's what everyone's going to ask me. They want me to ask you that because it is so important, because as simple as it is to, like, when I say pick a niche and we show you guys how to do that, it's a different thing applying it and trying to reinvent it or differentiate yourself from every other coach or therapist doing the same thing. What's your niche now and what made you believe that that's the one you want to work with?
Oh, that's a great question, Scott. So to be honest, like I was talking about earlier about how I was suffering with depression and anxiety and addictions and stuff. Those are the people, and those are still the people that I love to help. But my niche is specifically geared towards high level people. The reason why I mean, if a lot of you follow me, you'll notice that I change my message about every single week, but it's on purpose because I have a pulse on my niche and I do market research and I talk to real people about like what it is that they suffer with, what are they afraid of? And that's always changing. Okay. Maybe I'm a wind sign. I don't know if anyone's into that kind of cool stuff like that, but like I am, if you study Ayurvedic therapy, you can, look at like, are you a fire sign? Are you a wind sign? Or are you the earth sign? So me naturally, I'm like the wind. So I tend to like come and go. So I'm naturally in motion all the time, right? Somebody like Scott, I feel like you would be like an earth sign because you're just so grounded.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
you're so grounded. And so when you know yourself so well, you can start to just operate from that space and not be ashamed of that. So, I mean, don't follow me to the T. Like, don't copy me just because I'm changing my message every week. Doesn't mean you have to do that. That's just what I like to do because I like to sharpen my sword, so to speak, and always just be refining every single day and like trying to pinpoint the pain and the desire as closely as I can, depending on how much success I'm having in that particular week or month. And that just comes from asking questions, maybe from people who are not necessarily interested in what I have to offer with my program. I'm still going to follow up and ask them, hey, like, I know you're not interested, but I'd still be curious to know like what some of the people in your community or network, they struggle with, right? Because I'm still doing research, even if they're not interested in what I have to offer, even if they're not interested in hopping on a discovery chat, I'll still go deeper and ask them a little bit more about themselves. So I can still at least get some value from that interaction. But to answer your question, I chose the high-level entrepreneurs and professionals. I work with a lot of sales managers, account executives, lawyers, business owners, and maybe a lot of these people, they actually have a secret desire to be like a coach, actually, or like a therapist, right? Or just an entrepreneur, somebody who wants to make money from their passion, okay? Because they're not living their passion. Maybe they're very successful, but they're like me. They were successful, but they weren't fulfilled. So what I found though, Scott, through a lot of research and a lot of like trial and error, because trust me, like once I burned those bridges, I quit my job and I burned those bridges. Like I pretty much was like, Theo, sink or swim, buddy. Like this is your life, okay? You choose. You're gonna either take the leap of faith or you're just gonna like wait around for someone to tell you what to do. And I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not gonna do that. I've done that for most of my life. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna make this decision for myself. I know this is true about what I need to do to make it happen. I just need to go for it. And this program was like, it came into my life like the perfect time. And I saw your results. I saw all the people you were helping, and I saw the transformation and their business, and it made me feel so good and gave me so much hope because there's so many of those coaches and therapists who are giving people awesome results, but they're really not getting compensated for that value. And that's sad. That's so sad. So to cap off my answer to your question, I've discovered that people with anxiety, like my message was like helping people to overcome anxiety, right? Like depression and anxiety without medication, right? That's so cliche.
Yeah.
But what I found was like, I was actually attracting a lot of bums. So I kind of just like intuitively found that like a lot of people with anxiety, they tend to have a lot of money issues. And so I started to dive a little bit deeper and actually start to analyze my current paying clients because they were obviously successful, but they still had anxiety. So I needed to find a very good way, a different way to word my message so that I could attract the right type of person who could actually afford my services. Because after all, this is a high ticket program. We're not selling our services for $300, $400, or maybe even $500. We're like $1,000 at least, right? So once we're able to do that, we need to actually find people. And it's okay to run into bums. I don't like to say bums. I don't like labeling people. I do not judge people off of their income. Don't get the wrong idea about me. I mean, you can judge all you want. I don't care. But the bottom line is that if you don't have money coming into your bank account and you're not successful, you're gonna give up basically.
Yeah.
So, and this system is not going to work for you and you're going to get discouraged. So just become a business person, just become comfortable with rejection and just trick your mind into loving that feeling of like, wow, okay, I got rejected. What's the big deal? No one cares. Right. So once I was able to hone my message towards like high level problems, like I like to call them like high level people problems, like people with a lot of success, they don't really get horrible, like earth shattering anxiety unless they've been through like a serious trauma recently. But they do want to perform better. They do want to think clearer. They do want to, get better results in less time so they can have more time with their family, for example. And so I'm right now, that's like kind of the pool that I'm swimming in right now is like, that's kind of like what's working for me now. But what's working for me now may not necessarily be working for me a few months from now. You never know. So you always have to be continuously like a snake. You got to continuously just regenerate and never never rest on your laurels. And I never forget the day I made my first $7,000 in a week after being in Scott's program. Actually, I think that was even before. Wasn't that before?
I think you bought the book, the $30 book, and you made like $7,000 from it or something like that, which was crazy.
Yeah, like I knew I deserved the success, but like the actual, like what Scott was telling me in that little book, like the mindset as a therapist, it's like it just made so much sense. And then once I started to realize, oh wow, I could just charge so much more. I got myself around that block and I started to see, oh wow, like if I'm spending 20% of my time just building my business, that doesn't give me nearly enough time to hop on strategy calls and close people. I need to get more time because you can either spend time and energy or you can spend money. So if you're going to be with a client, you need to have a high ticket client so that you have time. I think you call it reserves, right?
Yep.
You call it reserves, meaning like you have more time to build your business.
Yeah.
So if you have more time to build your business, you're putting out content, you're building your brand, you're jumping on sales calls. This is business, right? So once you can get comfortable with this kind of cycle of productivity, you can start delegating stuff out, and the program will teach you how to do that. But Scott, it's so important to follow the strategy of knowing your business from the inside and out, so that nobody can take advantage of you. One of my good friends, he owns a men's academy where he teaches some top level CEOs how to become more badass. And so he's at a very high level. Like he's at that level like your Scott's going to teach you in the therapy maximizer and how to scale to group coaching. But he was delegating like coding, HTML coding out to a company, and they were milking that deal because they knew that he knew nothing about that skill. And so people will take advantage of you if they know you don't know anything about it. It's just, I'm sorry, it's just human nature. It's greed. It's okay. You have to just accept it. And I'm not saying have the skeptical mindset, but also just be aware of the fact that you're taking on way less risk by just learning how to do everything first. And then you can actually hold people accountable.
Yeah. This is that T-shaped thing we talked about. You have your good
T-shape
across everything, but really badass in like one thing, which is going to be a therapist or a coach. So before you bought the Therapy Maximizer playbook, before you joined the 100K, like what were your prices? What were you charging? And how much were you making, let's say, per month?
Damn. I was charging like $250. Jesus. Yeah. I was charging $250 per session. And at that time I was charging per session. So like, the scary part about charging per session is that like, if you don't get them that result for that one session, well, then they are gone. Right. When you I'll answer your question in a second, but I really want to drive home the point that when someone pays you like $1,500 is like what I'm charging now. It's like once you're charging $1,500 and you promise them, okay, three or four sessions, right? There's not as much pressure on you, and you're just going to get them that result. So you're like giving yourself some breathing room, and you're also having more compassion for that person. Maybe if the first session you uncover some really deep trauma, you'll just give them another session just because this is what you love to do. You love helping people, and you're able to give them a couple extra hours of your time because they trusted you with paying so much money up front. Like
Yeah.
that's the least you can do, is just offer them an extra session to help them get through the problem. Whereas there's just so much more tension if you're just going session by session. Like even if you're just charging a package, it's just like, that's so blah, right? A program is like an opportunity that you're like putting on a pedestal, and they're like, oh wow, like I have an opportunity to to have a space in this limited program, right? That's so much more valuable than just like, oh, here's a package, here's a session, right?
Yeah.
It's like candy. It's candy versus like caviar. Do you want caviar or do you want candy? So to answer your question though, I mean, per month I was making like, you know, I think it was like a 2,000 on average. On a good month, it would be like 3,000. On a bad month, it would be like 1,000. And I was asking all the mentors ahead of me, of all the people who coach me, because I have coaches too, guys. I invested in myself too. And so, you know, once I was asking them, hey, like, when can I expect to be full-time with this, you know, therapy? And they're like, well, look for like 6 months to a year. I'm like,
wow.
damn. I'm like,
wow.
all right. I mean, it makes logical sense that that's how much long it would take you. But that's just because they had a different strategy, right? They had the strategy of like rely on referrals, go out and do seminars, go out and do workshops, go out in the streets and like put your flyer out to different holistic spaces. I still do that stuff, like, but I'm not relying on that because I know that it's way more effective to reach thousands of people online who are seeking help than just like some people who may be interested in what you have to offer, but they're only there because it's a free workshop, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
So like you did the 250 or whatever it was to a session to now doing the like, and just to clarify, it's like the overall transformation thing. You're selling a result in as opposed to 3 sessions at a discount rate plus a free thing plus this and this. So it would make that really clear. So like
100%.
the coolest story, like one of the biggest things people don't realize is, and it was for me as well, when someone first said yes to $1,500 for a stop smoking session, like it threw me on the floor. I didn't know what to think. And I went from $150 to $1,500. It was the greatest feeling in the world. What was it like when you had that massive jump from where you were to the $1,500? What was that first client like? What was your reaction when they said yes to it?
Well, I think I jumped on the phone and I texted you.
You did? Like, yeah, I've still got the message.
Yo, Scott, dude, this works. I was like, oh my God. And so the feeling I would describe was just like, the first thing that came into mind was like empowerment, freedom, right? This is what you can have if you charge enough money, because yes, you have to be comfortable with uncertainty, but just realize that the only constant in life as an entrepreneur is uncertainty. The only constant in life is change, right? So just get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and you will crush this business in Scott's program, especially because you're a high ticket person, like you're a high ticket service. So as a result, yeah, you're gonna get more no's, but when you do find that client that says yes, they're going to be your friend for life. I promise you, like all my clients are going to be good friends of mine. And all the people who I was charging like 250, 150, 300 even, like these people would cancel, they would reschedule, they would push, they would be so disrespectful of my time. And I'm like, am I going to have to deal with this even when I'm full time? Like, I guess that's what I got to deal with. I guess that's just the way of the business, right? But that's not the case anymore for me. So I'm actually less concerned about the price. Like I'm just this is who I am now. Like I'm making this. This is my reality now. So now I'm more selective with who I work with, right? Because I've got my program under control. I've got my results. I've got my my niche under control. Now I'm able to be more selective with my my pool of potential clients, and I'm able to turn away people if I don't feel like it's a good fit. Instead of like hoping they say yes, I'm saying, like I wonder what this person would be like to work with. I don't need them as a client. I literally could say, you know what, we're not a good fit personality wise, and I'd be happy to refer you to someone else. I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing to be able to have that mindset. But you know, everyone's different. So, you know, I had a quick learning curve, but you know, your learning curve may not be as fast as mine, but don't let that discourage you I want to encourage everyone watching this that like, just because I'm having the success now that I'm having, I don't want it to feel like I'm like one of those outliers who like had a special case, because it's really, I'm not anybody special. Like I'm not some kind of like secretly genius Asian guy. Like I wasn't even that bright in school. Like I got B grades in school. So like I wasn't the sharpest tool in the box, but I definitely have honed my intuition a lot better. And I just felt like this program was a good fit for me, just considering where I was starting, because I was so fresh. And to be honest with you, I did not have my own resources to invest in such a huge program, like $5,000, $10,000 program, which I was looking to actually just save for until I found Scott's program.
So what were you doing at the time to, or firstly, I'll back it up a bit. So did you see a definite quality in the higher paying clients as opposed to the lower paying clients? What was the big difference?
Okay, so the higher quality people, they're so growth driven mindset. Like they love to grow. They understand that where money goes, money flows, and they understand that what you focus on expands. So they focus on what they have to gain. And that's why they're so attentive when they're with me on a therapy session or a coaching call, is because they're getting their money's worth, and they realize they understand the value of what I am providing them in their life. It's going to serve them for the rest of their life. Whereas somebody who's paying such a low price, they're always focused on like, oh, I'm losing this much money, and I don't really believe that this person can give me that transformation. So it's a completely different type of person. It's like, I'm not going to work with somebody who's questioning if I can get them the result. Like, I'm just going to say, this is what I have to offer. I'm confident I can get you this transformation. And I know that, I mean, from what I'm hearing, like, this is your problem. You have to be really good at, and in the Scott's program, we'll teach you exactly how to structure the script of the strategy call so that you get higher conversion rate. And that's ultimately what's going to build your confidence. Because over time, you're going to just get so good at it that you're just going to be able to make it so conversational. But yeah, to answer your question, the type of person is always their relaxation around money. And what's great about that is that after you give them a transformation, you can actually resell them on something else, right? Because they're not like pulling away from you. They're more than happy to invest more in you. That's the mindset. They have a growth mindset, and they know that if they want to get to another level quickly, then it's in their best interest to invest in somebody who's been there, who has a system that works, who has results, than just trying to just figure it out themselves with all the free stuff that they've been tinkering with.
Yeah. So what were you doing before you started the program? And we'll get into like your experience of the program next. What were you doing before to get clients? So you're doing the flyers. What else were you doing to attract clients?
Oh my God, dude, honestly, if I told you, you'd be laughing your ass off. So I would, okay. So I was like literally, walking into, I printed out these like little business cards from I think it was FedEx or something. And I got the really cheap ones, like the really papery, flappy ones that just like look like shit. But I didn't care because I was like, number, volume. Like, someone's going to say yes, right? And I would go to like yoga studios. I would go to even like law firms. I would go all over the place, everywhere where I think that my services would help them. I would go into massage parlors. I would go everywhere, dude. So funny. And looking back on it. And then I would basically like ask them if I could have a workshop there, free workshop for people. Okay. And a lot of them said, yeah, we're cool with it. Like who knows? And it was a great learning experience because I got like really comfortable with talking about what I have to offer. But like in terms of the actual effectiveness of that, oh my God, it was like so exhausting. Like I was doing this full-time job. And then after that, I would like go eat dinner. I would go eat like this pre-made dinner that I made the night before. from the fridge, and I would like eat that up. I would, okay. And then I would like throw that in the garbage, and then go out, print out the flyers at FedEx, print out the business cards at FedEx, and then go guerrilla style, like all over my local city, and just like boom, 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 boom. And like, it was actually like, looking back on it, it was like the best time I never want to have again. So like, I don't regret it because it was so exhilarating, because I had never done anything like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, like doing things like that is also really good for you to do. And I also like, I think that your behavior online will translate in terms of how you live your life in real person. So I definitely encourage people to, yeah, of course, it's awesome that I don't have to rely on any of this bullshit in terms of like in-person workshops, even though it's great, but I don't have to rely on the in-person stuff. But it's still very important for me to go out and just relate with people in real life, to have that human connection. Because let's be real, like, you know, honestly, like if you're going to crush it at this game, you have to be willing to put in the time. And it means that you have to be okay with talking to your girlfriend, talking to your boyfriend, saying, hey, listen, this means a lot to me. I need to have all of these times blocked out. If you'd like to set something up every week to hang out and have date night, that's great. But I just really hope you can respect that, and they will respect you. But you have to put your foot down and just decide, like, I'm okay with spending time by myself. Naturally, I'm an introvert. So I think that for me personally, when I'm on my computer in my Zen space, like I can actually recharge. And then when I do go out to meet people, I'm actually so much more charismatic because I've got my charge time. I was doing it the opposite, where I was like just exhausting myself out there. And then when I went to come in to like do Facebook personal before your program, actually, I would do the Facebook stuff and I'll feel like shit. I'll be like, oh, it sucks. I just want to go out and promote myself. But now it's kind of funny how I've swapped it. Now, instead of going out and hitting the streets per se, I go out and have fun. Because now I'm having this work space here by myself, alone in my zone. And this is where I'm making the money. But then when I go out, I'm not like going out meeting people with this kind of like ulterior motive, like, hey, this could be a client of mine, right? Cool, like, ooh, I could turn this person into a client. I mean, it's okay to get clients in real person. It's actually quite effective because, you know, they know you in person. So it's very reliable. But it's just, in terms of like numbers, it just doesn't add up. It's not like a reliable system to get a lot of potential clients.
So when you're going through all of this, firstly, like, how did you find out about the programs? Like, how did you find out about me?
Oh, well, actually, that's so funny. Oh my God, this is hilarious. So I was, I think I was going on like, scrolling on one of my friend's walls or something like that. And she had like shared a video of yours or something like that. I was like, who's that random dude in the hoodie? It looks like kind of like semi like living out of his basement or something like that. And I was like, whatever, that guy's, you know, he's a nobody. And then I saw you again, actually, in the same exact sweater on a Facebook Live. And it just goes to show you, like, you should never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, because I could stand in front of the car and the big house and all that, but this is real life.
And I love that about you because you're authentic. And you're not trying to impress anybody. And so once I was like, I kind of double took because I was like, he's wearing the same sweater, but he's talking about a different subject. Who is this guy? And I don't know if it's intentional for you, but I think that a lot of people, like, what made me connect with you was that you were wearing the hoodie, you were humble, and you were like straight to the point. Like immediately when I heard you speak, you know, like had this tone where like, okay, it's not a big deal. Like, this is how you do it. It's like do this, follow this, and these are the results that you can expect. It's you're not here to motivate people. You're not Tony Robbins. You're not trying to excite people. You're just literally just giving them the plan that works, period.
Yeah, that's very intentional.
I was like, yo, like, this guy's doing this, and he's like basically mirroring most people watching this video right now who are probably sitting at home by themselves in their hoodie, like wondering, like, am I actually going to be successful in therapy or coaching? So it's props to you, man.
Yeah, beautiful. So you found my stuff. What were you doing at the time? Like, were you looking into any other programs? Were you a part of any other like business marketing programs or anything like that?
I was looking at a lot of different programs. Like I was looking at Brian Rose, who's a really good guy from London. I was looking at I was even looking at some of Dan Locke's stuff, like that
Yeah.
the sales guy. But all these programs were very high. You know, they're very expensive. I was looking at this chick named Juliet Taggart. I forget her name, but whatever. All these programs, I went on strategy calls, and I understood the price ranges. It's okay, it's reasonable, but like, I didn't really connect with them like on a person-to-person level because they weren't using your strategy of just like being a person, a human being on a Facebook Live on a personal page. They were the people who were like the kind of like shiny ball where like they're in the sponsored ad section of Facebook and it's so obvious they're paying for your attention. And it's like that just for me personally, that turns me off. You know, like it's actually another reason for me to continue to scroll. So when I see that, I'm like, sponsored, maybe next year, because I'm not ready. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not ready for that yet. And I love the one-on-one work so much that, you know, eventually I'll just invest into your program later. But right now I'm just focused on really just getting this figured out and getting the best results I can until I feel like I'm ready to start to scale even bigger. Because I know this is just the beginning. This is nothing.
Yeah.
It feels amazing, but like once you're at a plateau and you reach it, it's like the ego, it wants you to say, hey, look, there's another mountain over there. You need to get better and better. You need to get that Ferrari. You need to get that Lambo, right?
Yeah.
So I know that that's what's happening in my mind.
Yeah. It's like, you know, we chatted about this before over Messenger. I said to you, there's going to be a point in your business where one-to-one is going to be superfluous to your goal. Like it just won't work because there's only one of you. You can only be in one place at a time. So when you start to build up your reserves, when you start to build up your expertise, when you find this voice in this industry, you're going to be required to do something more high level. And that's, you know, what we teach you guys in Therapy Maximizer, which is to stop one-on-one, to stop that. And the way to impact society and the world and the people you want to impact, it has to go to like a group type setting, or like what we do is the online program, which is that's how you scale. So you go from doing $1,500 a program to now selling this thing that you own, this thing that stands out and rivals all the other top gurus for $6,000. And you get seen as that guru, like that, whatever you call yourself, like that anxiety expert, that person to go see. Like Theo's the guy to go see if you want this as a result. So that's definitely in the future. But yeah, you're 100% correct. Like when it comes to marketing, you know, I'm doing this in such a way, like I want you guys to do the same. I could go hire a car. I could show you guys around my massive house and all that sort of stuff, but that's not realistic to you guys. Like it's realistic for like the way we do it. And I've chosen that for a reason, is just to sit here and say, guys, just follow this. I'm no different than you. I'm a year 10 dropout. I'm extremely introverted. I wear the same clothes every day because I can't be bothered thinking of what else I want to wear, because that's time away from thinking about business.
Yes, that's what Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg did. They would wear black clothes every single day because they don't want to waste that mental willpower on stupid stuff.
And, you know, you look at I get the shiny object thing as relatable as to marketing and stuff like that. But what I found is, like, I've been through all of that. I had the couple of cars. I had the really big house, like the 5-bedroom house. It's only one person. Don't know why I needed 5 bedrooms. All that stuff. But to use that stuff, it took time away from business. I only got so much, so I'm distracted by these things. So, you know, what we teach at a very high level, and you get this in Therapy Maximizer, we start talking about looking at your accounting and your cash flow and stuff like that, which nobody else talks about. Because if let's say your business right now is making 10 grand a month, but you're spending $9,000 a month on the shiny object stuff, realistically, revenue or cash is only 1,000. You can't build off of that. So we teach you to go like the humble beginning first and save up to your reserves and all that. But all right, so you come to a place, you're looking for other coaches. What was like, so you saw the 100K coaching program. What made you say yes to that? Because there's millions of these other programs out there. What was different? What made you think that's the one for me?
Man, that's such a good question. What was it about the program, or what was it about you?
Either. Like, what made the decision like, yep, this is the direction I'm going to go?
Well, it was honestly, it was just all the results I kept seeing from your page. Like, you can't deny results, and so you learn how to do that for yourself, obviously, in the program.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, damn, like I need to get that on my personal page because
Mm-hmm.
I know if I'm getting triggered in a positive way from his posts, like the testimonials, I know I get results. So I know I can get the same testimonials, but I don't have like a, like I did, like you're always being the expert on your lives. And after watching a bunch of your lives, I started to warm up to you. And then I was like, oh, okay, shit. Like this guy really knows what he's doing and he's getting results. So like, if you see that, then why would you not invest in something like this, especially if you're newer?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you spend so much money on another program that you're not ready for yet? To be honest with you, you're not ready for that type of program. And I know a guy who he was like in another coaching group, and I'm not going to say his name, obviously, but he ended up investing in another coach, and she did exactly what Scott is talking about with the attraction marketing and then like Facebook ads, copywriting, building a dope website, like having all this great like shiny ball stuff for people to like latch onto. And so unfortunately, you know, like I asked him like, so how long you been with this chick for? And he's like, I've been with her for like 2 months. And, you know, I'm like, so like, how long's the program? He's like, well, it's like 4 months. I'm like, so you're telling me you've been halfway through this program that you paid $8,000 for and you haven't had one sale? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm so glad I didn't take that program, number one. And
Yeah.
number two, I'm so glad I'm actually getting results with having zero, well, not zero, but very low overhead. And that's the number one thing that's the number one reason I think that everyone should invest in a program like this is because, like, dude, like if you invest in the program, like literally you're barely spending anything close to anyone else out there. Because like you said earlier, if you're making 10K with the type of attraction stuff that people are trying to teach you with their product and program, you're going to spend at least half of that reinvesting into Facebook ads, fumbling around, throwing money away, and investing in all of this video equipment, which you have no idea how to use anyway. And as a result, you're having to spend more time learning new skill sets that may not even pay off. And then also you're trusting somebody to get you the result when they haven't even said like, oh, I can guarantee you this result. I mean, obviously there's no guarantees, but like me personally, like if I invested $8,000, $10,000 into a program, I would want some kind of ROI immediately.
Yep. That's the goal.
Right?
That's
the goal. Yeah. So people, you know, I got the ROI, with like 5 days after I bought the program with one client.
Yeah.
So
it's like one of those things like when you start off like a business program, you invest into the program. So that we call your middle line. If the first thing you have to do is invest more money to get to this, you start off business in a deficit. So let's say you've got to input $5,000 a month on Facebook ads, and I don't even have to invest that much. Okay. Just to show you, it doesn't have to be done that way.
Yeah.
So $5,000 a month goes into Facebook. So you're already what? Let's say 8 plus 5. Let's say you're $13,000, $14,000 in debt here. That first $14,000, which you've made at pretty much zero cost, just to get to the middle line. And what happens when you reach that middle line? Let's say that takes you 8 weeks to do. We know something about human beings. After about 8 weeks, they get very lazy. They get bored. They look for something else. So now you've joined a program, you started in a deficit, you made your money back, now you're neutral, now you're looking for the next thing. That's why business, they do this. Where you've gone is invest in the program, you're a little bit down, $1,500, $1,000 for the 100K coaching shortcut. Within 5 days, you're neutral. Now you're $13,000, $14,000 in an efficient business. And you can see, like you said, this is just the start. Like, I watch your Facebook page. The reason I wanted to do this interview, because you're doing something that nobody else does. And everyone's waiting for me to reveal a big secret about you. Here it is. Guys, he takes more action than you. Go to his Facebook page. You will see. I give Theo the schedule, just like I gave you guys the schedule, and he just does it. He just is like the biggest secret. So
Yeah,
let's say,
it's
look, so
true.
you've joined the program, you've got into it. What were you surprised by? Like, what was the first thing what was the aha moment you had when getting into the program?
Oh my God. Okay, so there were several aha moments. But the first aha moment was seeing your schedule. Oh my God. Like once I could just see the work that it takes to be successful in this
Hmm.
business. And I don't mean successful mean like pay the bills on time and
No,
barely break even.
that's a
But
hobby. Yeah.
I'm telling you, be successful, like double, triple your income, which is exactly what I did. So to get to that level, right? People have this illusion. Oh, like if I just think positive and manifest, right? Bullshit. You have to take inspired action. So yeah, I'm not saying don't get your mindset right, because that's what I do. That's what I have done for myself, and that's what I do for people. But if you don't have a actual like do this, then
Hmm.
you're just like what do you say? You're like Peter Pan in the middle of New York City. Like it doesn't
Hmm.
make sense. Like you have to be in the right environment. And you have to know what to do in order to fly. And so
Hmm.
you gotta get the steps. And once I saw the schedule, I was like, okay, now that makes sense. And now that I have more consistency in my daily schedule, this is my life now, right? And even if you're part time, like this is totally doable. Like even though I burned the bridges, I was just able to take more action. But I'll be honest with you guys, even before I took the 100K program, when I just had bought that little like book that he gives you for like $30, I was still taking fucking massive action. Like I wasn't just sitting on my ass, like twiddling my thumbs, like sitting on my thumbs. I was, um, I was actually taking massive action as much as I could because I was being that person. I wasn't just acting like it. I was being it,
Hmm.
and I was behaving like that. And so you have to behave like that and be that person to see the results. And that way you'll never get discouraged when people say, fuck off, don't bother me, why
Hmm.
did you friend me, why are you even talking to me? Right?
Hmm.
Just gotta get used to that. Sorry, but that's like the business. And there's no such thing as sales being icky. Sales is a service. You're doing that person a favor by
Hmm.
highlighting their problem, because
Hmm.
nobody else is going to do that for them. And so get out of that mindset like you're bothering somebody. And that's the immediate like impulse, like, oh, we're bothering people. It's like, no, you could be someone's literally saving someone's
Yeah.
life from killing themselves.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm being extreme here, but
That
like
is true.
literally you could be that person who's that light, who just like
Mhm.
takes that person in and saves that person.
Yeah.
But you got to believe it. You got to think, you got to actually believe it. And so that was the first one. And then the second one, the cool thing was about how to you delegate. I don't know if I can say this, but delegating marketing outreach to
Yeah.
people out abroad,
Hmm.
like that was like, whoa, like, okay, now I'm excited, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously, yeah, everybody likes their freedom, but at the same time, you got to work for that freedom, right?
Hmm.
You got to actually put in the effort.
Yep.
And so to be able to delegate work to a virtual assistant, you need to know how your business works. Like, again, coming back around, you need to know every aspect of your messaging and your niche to be able to do that and to be successful in that. So that was another aha moment. And then really just how to build to build the program and make it justify the high price. That was like one of the main ahas that I'm sure like many people are like, wow, like now I get why this method works, because
Yeah.
it teaches you how to build the overall like results. It's not
Hmm.
just about quitting smoking. It's about all these other benefits that you get, and you'll learn exactly how to do it.
Mm.
And so that was really eye-opening for
Awesome.
me.
Yeah.
Not even to mention just like the testimonials. That was really, I mean, I know that's not part of the program, obviously, just reading testimonials, but like that alone is enough excitement for me to just
Yeah.
follow the program, to buy the program, to see the results that people are getting. Because I'm a big believer that like once one person does it, everybody can do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like the way I looked at it, I looked at my mentors the same way. What made me choose my mentors over many other mentors was results. Like there's so many people in my position that say, I've helped thousands of coaches and therapists earn hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, 6 figures a month, but
Yeah,
there's no proof. There's no
yeah,
proof. And they're
No,
bad at teaching. You have to be good at teaching. Like I can create the results in my business. I can show people that I can get to 6 figures a month, no bother. And I can do this all in a hoodie from my house. I don't have to leave my house.
yeah.
But what makes it extreme is, can I teach Theo? Can I teach Leanne how to do it? Can I teach Greg how to? That's what makes a good trainer, a good teacher. So again, when you did back on what we were saying before, when you scale to like, building a program that is self-sufficient where your clients will study themselves, we scale it with small Facebook ad costs, you sell on webinars, you do all those things where that's where you're headed. You become the same thing. The better you can teach people, the better those screenshot testimonials are, the easier it is to market. Clients don't want to see you in front of the Ferrari. They don't want to see you in front of the mansion. You can have all that. And I've got great shiny toys I could show too, but that doesn't inspire real people like you or your clients to invest in. So now you're in the program.
Sure.
What's the big thing the program solved for you in your business when you look back on where it was 6 weeks ago to where it is now?
What did it solve? Like, what did the program specifically solve for me as a business? As a business owner. Honestly, it solved the fate. The faith. So, we all have this fear of like, oh my God, like, is this the right decision? Am I on the right program? Am I investing in the right people? Am I good enough? Am I good enough? A lot of you are probably asking yourself, are you fucking good enough? Well, you are. But that's, you got to have the faith to continue to create value for people. Like the faith that you can do that for people. Right. So I was kind of second guessing the faith aspect of, could I be successful and sustain that success? Because I just didn't have the plan. Like the program is like, it's a tool. Okay. So there's no like, okay, you're going to do this and then you're going to get that result. And then it's over. It's game over. It's like, okay, that's it. No, like you literally, it's a tool, but like there's 3 modes. You can go slow, medium, and fast.
Yes.
So you can take the program, you can take your little time. If you have a family, that's okay. I'm fortunate enough to not have a family, like kids or stuff like that, and people like that in my life. Obviously down the road, yes. But like, if you have that, that's great, because I mean, you work at your own pace. So that's not an excuse to not have time. But what really made me excited was the fact that I wanted to go fast, and I knew that I could just go through the program in like 2 weeks. I finished the program in 2 weeks. Obviously I have to continue to go through it more and more just to like soak it up more. But like, the program is really a tool that you can take it to as far as you want. And so I just decided, hey, listen, I'm going to just squeeze this program as far as I can take it. And so, that's the cool part about the program, is like, you're not on a deadline to get a certain result by X amount of time. But I would encourage everybody, when you do invest in the program, to give yourself your own deadlines and challenge yourself, put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, because that's where the growth is, guys. Like, having 1 sales call per week is not going to get you to where I'm at, which is, 2 calls per day, almost, pretty much.
Yep.
Like 5-6 days a week, guys. I work 6 days a week, but I fucking love it because I'm getting results. So if you're getting results, why would you not work? Like, why would you not love this? Like, isn't this why you got into coaching and therapy in the first place? Wasn't it because you wanted to impact people, as many as possible? Wasn't it because you wanted to have freedom in life? Wasn't it why you wanted to be out there on stage with, all those greatest other gurus? Like, you can all do that. I'm going to do that. Scott's probably going to do that. He probably is doing it already. He's probably just keeping it a secret for all of us.
He's
done it. He's done it already. So, you can do that, or you could do the chill thing, which is just to do your own thing, which Scott loves to do. I mean, I love to do it too. I'm not about being all glitz and glam, but I would love to do that. That's my ego. Part of my ego wants to do that because it's fun and I'm young. But like, if you're a mom at home and you're just like wanting to make a full-time income staying at home, that can be your style. So it's for different types of people, right? It's for like free spirit people like me, but it's also for like people with tons of responsibility, and they cannot leave the house.
So like looking at your perspective from where you've come, like where you started, the reason you joined the program, where you are now, like if you looked objectively into the entrepreneurial coaching therapy world, what's the one big challenge you see for coaches and therapists and entrepreneurs to be successful? What are they lacking?
Oh, that's a great question. What are they lacking? Well, number one, resources. You know, because it's kind of actually sad. Like I think there's a statistic that says like half the population of the US doesn't even have more than $1,000 in savings. Don't take my word for that, but it's true. So like, you know, but what's the challenge is, I guess, like, the challenge is really just believing that you can do it, because it's so easy to see like other people do it. And then you just like give yourself so many excuses to give up. Like there's so many distractions. And I think that's the issue. Whereas like there's just so much content, there's so many resources for you to be persuaded by, I guess. And there's so many people hitting you up in your inbox and your email, trying to sell you stuff. So really the biggest challenge is to just commit to something. So the biggest challenge is to just make a decision based on your best intuition, and just go with it. Like people are just so hot and cold. It's insane. Like people these days, they suck at making decisions. And I used to be the same way. I used to be especially me as a wind sign, like I'm always in and out, analytical, over analyzing. People are just like over addicted to thinking things too much and hesitating. And like when you hesitate, you just miss that opportunity. So like if I had just hesitated and I just waited another couple of months, I could have just been sitting here, not sitting here, but sitting here with my laptop closed, probably just like listening to music, and just messing around with my dog and just like reading a book. Okay. But right now I'm just going out with my family, spending time with my dad, my mom. And that's something that money buys. Like money gives you such rich experiences. And that's being able to spend time with people you love is more valuable than any car, than any Gucci, Chanel shoes, than any handbag or dress that you could ever buy. Being able to do what I went out and hung out with my dad, and we could do whatever the hell we wanted. And I paid for everything. I paid for dinner. I did everything. And I was like, Dad, where do you want to go? I was like, you know, let's go for a drive. Let's go golfing, right? Let's do all this stuff. Let's go out to this island. I'm on an island right now, guys. I'm on vacation. But I'm still working, obviously. But like, guys, like the time that you spend with people that you love that's why I'm doing what I do. Okay. It's not about buying the nice stuff. And so once you're able to commit to a program that gets results, just do it. Stop waiting. Because what you think is the glass ceiling for you now is like going to be like little pebbles for you like a year from now. But I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
What would you say to people that are like on the fence? Not even just for my program, but just taking the risk enough to actually do something and finding a way to make this thing work, their goal, their business. What would you say to those people that are just waiting?
Just waiting. Honestly, like just get a loan. Okay. Like, get a loan, but don't do it just because like you're expecting a result. Like you have to expect from yourself. So you have to actually be ready to make this happen. And it's not hard. It's not as hard as you think it is. You just got to follow the steps. The people who are waiting, I mean, there's probably many other areas that you're waiting in life for, probably waiting to get healthier, waiting to ask that girl out, waiting to break up with your unhappy relationship, right? So this is impacting other areas of your life. So once you just, once you literally just put your money where your mouth is and you just say, hey, I'm going to do this, what's the worst that can happen? Like, you're not going to really fail. You're just going to learn something that you just didn't have the work ethic. That's really all it is. But you'll get it. Like, you'll get it. You just have to choose yourself. You don't, I mean, the program works. You just have to choose that this is what you want. And you have to decide, hey, I'm not going to be like an employee ever again. That was my mindset. It's like, I never want to feel that way again. I never want to be manipulated by a boss ever again, and be manipulated from the kind of like fear mindset that all managers, all CEOs use on their employees, for good reason, because it works. But like, do you really want to be that person who's always just being berated for no reason? Not me.
Yeah. So 12 months from now, where are we? What are you seeing? What are you earning? What's the goal?
Oh, I mean, I would say 100K per month for sure. I have no doubt about that. It's really just about not spending too much money on silly stuff, and really just investing it in the right places. And I'm much better at that now, because I'm not like addicted to anything anymore, and I don't even drink or do anything like that. So I'm in control. Okay. So I'm in control of where I put my resources. So that's why I'm saying that, like, it's going to happen. It's not like, oh, hopefully. It's like, no, this is going to happen in a year. I'm going to be speaking on stage, empowering, inspiring people, because that's what I love to do. I love to perform. And so I'm sure that, like, once I've made a product that is scalable to many people, I'm able to have freedom to do other things that I'm also passionate about, which is speaking, you know, like spending time with family and friends, blah, 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 you know, but also working on more stuff, right? Because it's ultimately, like, if you're not willing to be that person and behave that way at least 6 days a week, 5 days maybe, but like, if you're not willing to put in the time outside of your current situation, like, how do you expect to just magically wake up one day and like be a full-time coach and therapist? It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing your face when I show you the 6-figure per month schedule. It's insane. It would literally.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Down. But here's the thing a lot of people don't realize. It's not so much like you're getting 6 figures a year to 6 figures a month is not a massive thing. It's not about scaling Facebook ads. All that stuff works. What it is, the biggest component that you'll change in your business is from one-to-one to a program where your day consists of, like my day is just enrolling people into a program. That's it.
Okay.
No more one-to-one. You'll do like a monthly coaching call like we do. We teach you this model because what this requires you to do is, you know, the 80-20 thing you talked about at the start, where it's 80% on the business, 20% with your client. It's now 90% marketing it and 10% of just making sure that the people in the program are having an incredible experience. Okay.
Oh, wow.
What we also introduce as well is something called obliquity. I don't know if you've heard of obliquity before. And we're actually going to be, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. I'm actually just reinventing the 100K coach program. So you're going to get the new version of it within like 2 weeks. So it'll blow your mind. If you like the first version, this one will have you praising whatever universe you love in, you know, seeing what you're doing. But the obliquity thing basically means that all we've got to do is take you from one-to-one to program. And then we just have to work on the other things that no other coach or therapist wants to work on. Because here's what I see. Everybody yells and screams at me every day, as they're going to do with you as well, is they say, I want more marketing, Scott. Show me the next Facebook hack. Show me the next Twitter hack. Show me the way to do a Facebook Live. All of that stuff is menial if, like you, unlike you, can't stick to a schedule, can't wake up at the same time every day, can't sit in front of a laptop for 12 hours a day without checking Facebook every 5 minutes. If you can't master those things, like you said before, you're in control of yourself. If you can't master those things, you can't master the Facebook Live every day that you have to do, how much work you're doing every single day. So when we apply obliquity, we basically teach you to do all the other things, master everything else, from your accounting, building a program, to webinars, to all those extra things that nobody else wants to do, because all they want to do is just make money. That's where their focus is. So once you master these outlying things, 100K a month just becomes simple, because your price is 4 to 5 times as high. And now you wake up to people wanting to enroll, pay full price and all that sort of stuff. So that's what's to look forward to. So it's not a massive leap as like to get to 100K a month, you've got to spend 50 grand on Facebook ads. I use the same marketing I did when I reached 6 figures to 6 figures a month now. It's the same marketing. I just do more of it. So more Facebook Lives, more stuff like that. But that's something for you to look forward to anyway. So let's start to recap all of this and sort of finish off. Any words of wisdom, because I'm going to be showing this interview everywhere. You know it's going to be in the groups. It's going to be all over YouTube. What are your words of wisdom now that you've made it? You've started off where most people have started, but you're at the other end now and you're just beginning to evolve as a person. Words of wisdom for the industry.
Absolutely, guys. Really just find your voice. And Scott iterates this on the program, but you need to find what makes you different, guys. I'm sure some of you guys have some weird thing about you that you're ashamed of, or you're like a little like self-conscious about. But honestly, that's the thing that you should incorporate into your program. Like I love being strange and weird. And so like, it's a great way for people to just get outside of their comfort zone and start just, being a little goofy and not taking life so seriously. That's a big aspect of how I help people to let go and to really just fall in love with themselves. So you need to just do the work, invest in yourself, find a program that works, like get Scott's program, obviously, but also invest in yourself in terms of like, just get your shit handled. Like, we don't want to have all these like psychologists. I mean, I love psychologists. I'm not bashing anyone who has psychology degrees out there, but there are some people, I'm not going to say who are like basically touting their nose to everybody and saying like, oh, I don't have any problems, I'm just going to write you a prescription. Right? It's like, those people, I'm sorry to say, but a lot of those people, they have so many issues themselves that it just makes them feel good to like tell somebody there's something wrong with them. Year after year, after year and after year. So I say, just focus on getting somebody a result, within a reasonable amount of time, and then send them on their way. Okay, this is not about building passive. Well, it is about building passive income eventually, but it's not about like leeching off of clients and like taking advantage of people. It's about transforming people and empowering other people. So my words of wisdom would be to work on yourself, obviously, discover who you are, and really just like inspire people to go out and do that for themselves, and also empower them to do that for other people. Because ultimately, if we're going to save the planet, obviously we need to change inside here. So this program is going to give you the means to have a fulfilling life. Okay. You cannot deny that money is not, you have to get out of the mindset like money is only reserved for like the privileged people. No, money is reserved for people who work hard and are, and believe in themselves. That's it. That's it. There's no special formula. And once you get the work ethic down and you get like a workflow down, it becomes like so effortless. You start to really just enjoy the process because you're just being that successful person. You're not pretending, you're not acting, you're literally just following the program, and then you just follow your schedule. You're not thinking about anything. You're just you're following the steps in the program. Yeah. And then once you feel success, once you have it, hold on to that feeling and continue feeling that feeling, because if you can feel it one time, if you can get one client with this program, you just repeat that. And then that's literally what success is. Yeah. It's nothing else. It's just like getting a goal and repeating a goal. That's it. And then once you start getting comfortable with the uncertainty of being an entrepreneur, then things get fun and interesting. You're not like, oh my God, like what if I don't hit my income goal this month? Oh my God, I'm freaking out, right? It's okay to feel that way, but I mean, you'll get over it. Trust me. Because you have the system in place. You have no excuse to just like give up. So just go with it. Just go with it. There's nothing to lose.
Yeah. From interviewing you, Greg, Leon, Harry, all the top earning students, it's the same thing. And I cannot stress this enough, guys, for everyone watching this. Just follow the program. Literally follow the steps. Put it in a schedule, just like Theo's schedule, and just do it. If you're required to do a Facebook Live at 9 a.m. on a Wednesday, just do it no matter what. If you're required to do 5 posts a day, do it no matter what. It's all inputs, guys. The more inputs you put into this system, this business, the more the output. Then you go from like Theo, who was doing $2,000 a month, to 16 grand in 6 weeks, or 15 grand in 6 weeks. And this is just the start. Now, what's
and
cool
I
is
also want to add one more thing, you know what, all those people out there on like all the shiny ball like marketing or marketing programs, like these Ty Lopez, Gary Vaynerchuk, like all these guys like trying to like show off and stuff. It's like people don't realize like they work their asses off in a dark hole. Like even Bill Gates, right? Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg. You guys, you have to appreciate the grind, because when you do reach success, you're going to appreciate that, and you're going to enjoy it, right? It's like would you rather win the lottery, or would you rather work your ass off and earn that, right? I would much rather go through the grind and earn it and feel fulfilled than just like have it fall in my lap. And you just have to realize that most of life is not about like popping bottles and like just partying on yachts with hot chicks. I mean, if you're a guy, if you're a girl, it's not about like, having like, girl time 24/7, having tea with like everybody. It's not about that. It's just about doing the work, enjoying the work, and then just smelling the roses later. But it's not, nothing is roses. Okay?
Yeah, it's that work-life balance thing. Yeah, you work now, do the balance thing later.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You retire early. You save up your reserves. You go do the things you want to do. All that shiny object stuff. For me, I went through all of that stuff, and I wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars on this stuff. But, you have the nice car. You spend, $150,000 on a Mercedes or something like that. Now it's sitting in my driveway. Now I have to go drive it. So that's time away from the business. I have to spend money on fuel. The first mechanic's bill I got, and I was like, my God, this is just ridiculous for something that's sitting in my driveway. Guys, it's fun to have that stuff as an entrepreneur. And I'm sure when Theo first earned all that money, he thought about it too. Everybody does. You start thinking, where can I spend it? But guys, it takes you away from your schedule. Okay. So this was awesome, man. This was a great insight into, your schedule, what you're doing, the mindset. I hope everybody really takes note of this. I know I'm going to watch this interview again. And it just really recaps everything we've been saying all along. Everything Theo has said, guys, you've heard a million times. You just have to do it. So, man, thank you so much. I'll let you get back to your.
I watched the webinar. When I bought the program, I was watching the webinar. I was at a club with my friends, but I wasn't drinking. No, listen, I wasn't drinking. It's so funny. I was at a hotel club at like the W, and it was one of my friends' birthday parties, and they know I don't drink, so they're cool with it. But like I got a notification in my email inbox, and I was like, "Oh, Scott Jansen, he's doing a webinar, free webinar." So it was like 2 a.m. guys. I watched the webinar, and like, guys, this is the type of things that you have to do. You have to like do weird shit, like watch a webinar at 2 a.m. To make it happen. I thought I'd add that just because it's just a funny story.
Yes, abnormal results require to do abnormal things. You've got there's no 9 to 5. Like a lot of people say, well, Scott, if you're doing the webinar here, I can't get up. It's 4 a.m. in the morning for me. Get up. What are you laying in bed for? If you can't pay your bills, what the hell are you laying in bed for? Get up and take action.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Let you get back to your crazy schedule. I'm sure we'll talk again. For everybody watching this, I'm sure Theo won't mind any questions that you have. So for anyone watching this as well, Theo, who's has a problem in their life, how can they get a hold of you, and what type of client do you actually work with?
Just shoot me a message on Facebook. You guys can find me on Scott's page, I'm sure. If you're watching this video, it's pretty easy to get in contact with me. Just shoot me a message. I get like hundreds of messages every day in my messaging. But if you want to reach out to me directly, I'll eventually get back to you. In terms of the people I help, I help high-level people to think clear under pressure. So I work with people who are very stressed out, and they're pretty high performers already. But they just want to have more flow in their life and not be like stressing all the time. And, people who really just want to be able to get better results in less time and be a higher mental performer, really, so that you can really just suck the juice out of your life even more and really not be as stressed. Because what happens is, like, when you're not as stressed, when you're able to get better results in work, well, what does that mean? It translates into your family life being better, your kids being happier, because you're not taking your anger out on your kids, because you're happier and you're getting better results and you're less stressed. So, it's a win-win for everybody. It's
awesome.
success for me, it's happiness, not happiness, but it's just fulfillment from other people. And it's also just encouraging like a healthy childhood for more kids to not have to go to therapy and coaching, like just like improving the overall well-being of, and that's why I love this program, is because the high ticket literally justifies so many different areas that you're helping this person with. You're also impacting their kids, guys.
That's how we
You're
think.
also impacting their families too.
Yes. Yeah. It's a
right?
trickle effect.
Somebody who's smoking a cigarette, like their family cares about them, and they don't want to see that person like smoking. So you're doing their family a favor too.
Yeah. And it just trickles on down the line. That's where we get the value. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. For anyone who wants to reach out to Thea, I'm sure he's going to be there for you for any help that you need. So, man, thanks a lot. I'm sure we'll get another updated interview in the next 6 months when he's hitting the 6 figures per month. We'll see how he got there. But, dude, thanks a lot. I'll speak to you soon, man. Have a great end of the evening for you. Thanks,
Scott.
buddy.
You too,
Thanks,
man.
Thea.
Have a great week.
You too.